There's a kitty on the scent. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda.
I'm Rashawn.
Together we're not your
This is Floki.
This is Floki.
My little
Rashawn's
kitten.
kid. Oh my god.
Come here, my little man.
We love cats. Okay, so for today's video, we're actually doing a response
You
video.
smell like Amanda now.
Hey, I smell good. Hater. Anyway, for today's video, we're actually doing a response video. The first one that we've done on this channel. We're responding to Mike the Vegan's video called The Ex-Vegan Exhale. And he was talking about Maddie Lymburner, who
Mick,
is...
the vegan?
No, he said it's Mike.
Mike? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was talking about Maddie Lymburner, who is another YouTuber not being vegan anymore.
Hey, it's Mike here, and today the phenomenon of the ex-vegan exhale, as well as just a response to Maddie Lymburner, unfortunately no longer being vegan. A lot of people don't actually know who she was. I thought more people did, but she was a vegan for 7 years, had a vegan-related channel with mostly what I eat in a day videos of 500,000 subscribers, 200,000 more than I have. She also has a really popular fitness channel called MadFit with millions of subscribers. While the concept is more relevant to other vegans that quit, Maddie quitting sort of brought to the surface a abstract idea that I've been thinking about for a while that I'm calling the ex-vegan exhale. I'll talk more about that. We'll talk about Maddie's story. We'll even get into some research around the issues that she had, which were mostly hormonal, but also psychological, like anxiety and depression.
So I already knew about Maddie because I follow her fitness channel, MadFit, on YouTube, which is actually really good. She has great workouts. So I was curious to see what he was gonna say. And we just watched the video together and we have a lot of thoughts. Rashawn, do you want to start off?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of interest in it just because it was a lot of period talk. And once I hear that, I just kind of zone out. But hearing about how what you eat could affect it, that's something that I didn't know. I had no idea. That
so this guy, he really went really hard against this girl, which I didn't necessarily agree with. Obviously, he's coming from the place of he's a vegan, right? So there's that bias there. We're not hearing from a doctor. We're not hearing from, someone who has the expertise that might be like more neutral. So you have to definitely think about that when you're watching his video. But he really went into a lot of things. She was talking about why she stopped being vegan was she was having hormone issues. She was having really bad period cramps.
Discovered that I have a genetic disposition where I don't make enough estrogen. It runs in my family. I've been on bioidentical hormones now for a while. It didn't really do much at all.
Her period pains were bad enough that she said she had to go to the ER at certain points, and it is unclear whether or not the previous birth control that she had played a role. We just don't know. Again, this is an N of 1. But in terms of people making general conclusions about a plant-based diet and period pain, it's just worth mentioning Dr. Neil Bernard's study, which found that putting people on a plant-based diet lowered their period pain and also lowered the duration of their PMS by about 30%.
And she was having like anxiety and depression. And so she went to, what do you call a naturopath? Naturologist?
We're
going to put the name on the screen. We don't remember what the name of this doctor was.
And the first thing about Maddie's case is that we don't have everything, but it appears that she went to a naturopath.
You guys know I've struggled a lot with my hormones. I've struggled a lot with very, very bad period pain. It's been something that I've been struggling with pretty much ever since I'd gone vegan, came off the birth control pill. I did go and see a naturopath, did a hormone paneling test.
And it's not clear whether or not she went to a official medical doctor at any point. She had these hormone issues, so logically she should have seen an endocrinologist, which perhaps could have cleared them up.
But basically, this person advised that she included fish and eggs back into her diet. And so he went on to talk about how there have been some other people in the vegan community that are like now ex-vegans who included fish and eggs and like suddenly they felt better. So, we agreed and disagreed with a lot of the points that he made. I do agree that the idea that you're going to eat, like this one guy, he was like, he was referring to this one guy who had no sex drive on a vegan diet and then he ate a fish and like he had a wet dream. And I was like, that is not like gonna happen because you ate a salmon. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's logical.
I don't think that's logical. I think that if you have a low sex drive, it could be related to a lot of different health issues. I mean, certainly diet is one of them. Typically for men, you know, this is getting a little X-rated, but typically for men who are having issues, what is the word I'm looking for? Impotence issues.
Yeah.
Erectile dysfunction. There we go. Erectile dysfunction. Typically, that's the first sign that there's a bigger issue, like with your body. It could be like a heart issue, it could be your diet, whatever. But usually in our society, we don't look at it holistically and we say, okay, well, here is this pill. You know, you can go have an erection now, and like you don't look at the bigger issues that could be going on within your body, right? So, you know, this idea that this guy just suddenly ate a salmon and all of a sudden he had a sex drive was very strange. But back to Maddie, right? So he really came for her whole life, which I had an issue with, because I'm like, you know, being someone online, it's so easy to just see what they put online and then you make all of these like ideas about who they are based off of their content.
One reason why he thought she wasn't vegan now is because of her meat-eating boyfriend. I thought
Yeah.
that was a little bit of a stretch.
It was
Okay, now a point that I've left for the end because it's totally subjective, and that is the boyfriend accusation that people were making. They're saying, hey, you broke up with your vegan boyfriend that you were with for 7 years and vegan with for 7 years and started dating this meat eater guy right around the exact same time that you quit being vegan.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a stretch.
It was a stretch. Like, she had a new boyfriend, and so he was like, 4 months after they got together, all of a sudden she's eating animal products again. But she never said, she said in her confessional that she put on Instagram that she was still eating like mostly plant-based, and then every now and again she was include like a fish or egg or whatever. But he also went into the fact that she is a fitness YouTuber. She really has like almost no body fat. The girl is like really toned. And so he was talking about how maybe that had to deal with her estrogen levels, because typically women that are like Olympic athletes, that are ballerinas, it typically takes longer for them to get their period because they're having lower estrogen because they're so toned. You know, they're working out all the time. So usually they are put on like birth control or something like that to help introduce those hormones into their body so they can regulate that cycle. So he was basically saying that maybe she should have went to an endocrinologist if she was having hormonal issues, and that it might not have been related to her vegan diet. And then also said that, hold on, we're going to get this cat out of the set. Okay. He was like clawing the chair the whole time. Okay. Are we good, Floki? I'm gonna okay, sorry about that disturbance. So basically this guy, Mike's saying that her, that in theory, like if she's low on estrogen because she's like really fit, then how is she having stronger cramps? But I feel as a woman that's a little invasive to be like, you know, breaking down what someone's hormonal issues may or may not be, and basically saying that like her switching her diet would be more of a placebo effect and less of an actual effect on how she felt. And I just didn't feel like that was really a fair observation. What do you think?
I feel like if you're not a dude, I mean, if you're not a female, you're a dude, unless you're like a gynecologist or something, you shouldn't be giving people advice on their period.
Yeah, it felt a little invasive. But also, at the same time, she did put out there like that was one of the reasons why she was no longer vegan. So that's really why he was talking about it so heavily. I feel if she hadn't brought it up, it probably wouldn't have come into the conversation. But I mean, he made some good points of like, okay, are people having this like exhale, this, oh, I feel so much better now that I'm not vegan, because it's really a placebo effect, and really like what's on the other side of that? Is it societal pressures? Is it your relationship? Is it, you know, you just don't want to be, you know, on the outskirts of society anymore, because when you go plant-based or when you go vegan, you know, you're really like, you're now othered in a way, because you're not eating what everyone else is eating. You can't go to the same restaurant sometimes. Right. So, you know, he was basically saying, is it really those pressures that make people have like this ex-vegan exhale? You know, but he didn't really present the other side of the argument, which is it actually helping these people? We don't know.
Right. We don't know if it's like really helping, like if it's a direct cause and effect.
Yeah, between their diet and what they were saying the problem is. Like, and he was arguing in the video that maybe she did try some alternatives. Like, maybe she tried to take some supplements to get some of the nutrients that you get from fish before eating the fish. You know, if she was trying to stay within the ethics of being vegan. But he was basically saying she never talked about it in the video, and so we don't know. I think what was missing from his argument and what would have strengthened his argument would have been to present the other side, which is what if there were some benefits, or what are some ways that she could have maybe fixed her hormone issues or fixed her anxiety and depression issues on a vegan diet. I think he like touched on it a little bit, but I feel like he really should have presented that counter argument as like, would this, pescatarian diet make someone feel better? And if so, how can we get those benefits in a vegan diet? I feel like that would be like the next video for this, to really like strengthen his argument and make it feel a little less like a personal attack on Maddie Lymburner specifically. Because it did, and he ends the video by saying like, let's not be mean to Maddie, we don't want to give this community a bad rep. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is really like kind of aggressive, and how he like kind of went at these when he went into a relationship, it was like, okay, we may be taking it too far now. So that was interesting, but I think this brings us back to this idea that we've been talking about of being mostly plant-based in order to kind of take off that pressure of like, okay, I'm vegan, now I'm not vegan, and now I need to make an announcement to everyone as to why I'm not vegan. Yeah. I feel like if you're just saying, okay, I try to be plant-based, then if you eat like a fish or an egg because you feel like it's going to make you feel better that day, no one has to sweat about it. Yeah. I think when we put these like really big labels like vegan, pescatarian, vegetarian, all these things, it creates this need to now explain yourself and be like, oh, I'm not in this community anymore. When like she's saying, like, I'm still eating mostly plant-based foods in her confessional. Right. She's just saying, I've now incorporated these other foods into my diet because I feel like it might be helping me. And, it might be a placebo. We don't really know because we're not her. But I think this is what we were saying in our last video, we'll link it in the cards, is that we need to make more space in this community for all levels and spectrums of eating plant-based. And now vegan is different, right? Because vegan is like very specific. We talked about that in our video. Like, this is an ethics thing. This is a food thing. Like, you are not using any animal products in your lifestyle. And I think that if, she is not going to be vegan, like, certainly she should say, I'm not going to be using that title anymore, for people that might get upset about it. But I think that it doesn't mean she should be ostracized from that community altogether. I don't think. What do you think?
I don't think she should either.
Because she put out a lot of content about plant-based food, about what I eat in a day and all these things. So like, she has put in a lot of work to advance that community. And I think that she should still, be able to make that content about eating plant-based or mostly plant-based or whatever, because even if she's not totally vegan or ex-vegan or whatever, she's still going to be advancing the work of getting that message out there and getting those food ideas out there to the people that need it. So I don't think she should be excommunicated from the vegan community. But yeah, any other words to say about that video?
I've said it before, whatever makes you healthy, whatever helps you out the most, that's what diet that you have.
But obviously,
because we can't obviously a plant-based diet is the healthiest for like
humans. That's what we're always talking about in this community for sure, and that's what we're always going to preach, sort of say. But I think we also need to let's examine these ex-vegan exhales and see what is the root cause of this, and how do we prevent people from feeling like either I'm totally in or I'm not in at all. How do we stop that and make more room for more people to be in this lifestyle, because that's really going to advance the mission of the plant-based vegan community in the end.
Right.
So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on the Vegans video? What do you think about this ex-vegan exhale? It's certainly very interesting. And if you want us to make more videos like this, we would love to. Just let us know in the comments down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Be sure to subscribe.
Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go straight to your phone when we upload a new video.
Exactly. All right, guys. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.